I think it's actually like most nights you get several erections during REM sleep, and the vast majority of the time that's not associated with sexual thoughts.
Guys, if you ever have an erectile dysfunction with a girl, just say, look, come back when I'm asleep, because
no, that's
I'm going to get quite a few bars, so come back while I'm sleeping.
That's not good advice.
Okay.
No.
This podcast is for general informational purposes and entertainment only and should not be considered medical advice. Dr. Ashley is not responsible or liable for any advice, course of treatment, or other information you obtain through this podcast, and neither am I. So if you have any real problems, go see a doctor in person.
This is The Full Release with Mo Mandel.
And Dr. Ashley. Recording. There's so many things. There's screens, and this is like oh my god! And there's a world map over there.
Yeah, we're
this
basically
is where breaking news of.
This just in: dicks are near balls.
No, so for everybody who can't see this, whether you're listening or watching our YouTube, you can't see this, but Mo's computer has the Libsyn website up showing.
I have the map of where our beautiful, wonderful,
Yes.
sexy listeners are at.
Yes. So it's like the full release command center.
We are in the command center to talk about dirty things.
You look nice.
Thanks. You look nice too.
I don't. I'm in a
You've
t-shirt.
been wearing those pants for the last week.
Yeah. You got me the
Cool.
shirt at Old Navy, and I thought I'd wear it for our listeners and watchers on YouTube.
It's a
Thank
good
you
shirt. It's
for
a
the
good.
buy. It is a good shirt,
Thank you.
by the way.
Yeah.
It's one of my better shirts. But I was going to say thank you to everyone listening and watching on YouTube. Got some followers this week. How do you feel
Yeah.
about those subscribers? They're called subscribers.
The subscriber. I feel very good about them.
Yeah. Have you ever had a subscriber before?
No, I guess I have not.
Have you ever had a stalker?
Like, I don't know.
That means
Like, how do you define
either
a
no
stalker?
or you had a very good stalker. They like a ninja level stalker.
No, I mean, like, I've had a situation maybe where I had an ex that was like creeping on me, like sitting outside my apartment in their car late at night, sending me text messages saying that I was going to be punished
You were going to be punished
for breaking up with them. You
Oh,
know, like, does
yeah,
that
no.
count? Because it's not like that was an angry ex.
Yeah, that's
but
just
does
more
that
like a
count
toxic
like a
guy.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean,
like a stalker would be somebody like
yeah, just a guy who's sort of
a de novo stalker, like a
what?
like you weren't in a relationship. They just began your
Stalking,
relationship
right.
began as a stalking relationship.
Well, I don't know what the definition of that is. I would have think that somebody could be like you have a quick relationship and then they get obsessed and keep stalking you. I think that's legal. I think that's any stalkers out there
It's
listening
legal?
who want to not legal. I mean, I think it's not legal at all. I
What
think
are you
it's
talking
done.
We're just giving you sex, health, and stalking advice on this
So
podcast.
it's legal. Go for it, guys. Get out there. Stock that
We're
chick.
in Oregon, marijuana's legal, and so is stalking.
All right.
No,
We're-
okay, that's like a joke, and we're not
No,
advocates
we're
of
not.
stalking.
We're not
okay?
advocating stalking. I love my
We're
favorite
not
thing about this
advocating
podcast.
stalking, even though that's the way that Mo has begun most of his relationships.
Not with you. You came on to me.
That's true.
But I love how my favorite thing about doing this podcast is when you get nervous, then you're like, just so everybody knows, we're joking. We're not actually saying you should throw puppies and shoot them out of catapults.
I don't know. You got to be real about that shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
like people, in your brain, you know that you're making a joke, but you don't. Sometimes it doesn't come off that way.
Yeah, you
know what
never know. I
So-
mean, maybe we've got some very impressionable listeners out there who are
Yeah.
like, that's it. I wasn't going to stalk her because I didn't know it was okay, but a doctor just gave me a prescription to stalk.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's not my medical advice.
That's not.
And that's not my non-medical advice either. That's not my advice in any way.
It's just
So-
not even your advice.
Right.
Do you want to introduce yourself to our first listeners? If this is the first time they've found the show?
Oh, yeah. You're starting with episode 101.
That's
If
right.
you're
This is
starting-
101. A whole
That's
new
crazy.
millennium? Centennium?
I don't know what you call it.
Like what's the next 100? Century.
If the years, though. It's like 100 of years.
Yeah, I think that counts. Well, anyway, for
We don't
everyone
know
who's just
what
joining
we're
us,
talking
I am
about.
Dr. Ashley Mo Mandel Winter, urologist, sexual medicine expert.
Yeah, okay. What?
But- No, I'm not. I'm a comedian. She is the sexual medicine doctor,
Yeah.
well-paid expert.
Yeah. I well paid. I make no money off this podcast.
That's
so
right.
Very well paid. But no, yeah, Dr. Ashley Winter, urologist, sexual medicine expert here to, hang and weigh in on some of your questions. And here's my lovely husband.
Is it getting weird for you? Is it or less weird for you to say husband? Because we've only been married 3 weeks now.
It is getting less weird. Like the first day, even though I'm so proud to be married to you and we had an amazing wedding, it was like, it felt weird to me. Like I couldn't say it. Like I couldn't come out of my mouth. Like I was just like, that guy who used to be my fiance. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the first few times you called me your husband, I think you were on like a call with like a tech support. You said, "And my husband." I was like, "Who the fuck's that dude? Who's she talking about?"
It is a very weird thing to me. Like I don't know, like your whole life you're just like, oh, they're married people and then there's everybody else.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I'm like married people now and I'm like, I feel exactly the same as I did.
I know. That's a very good point.
Before we were married, it's just like we signed a piece of paper and had a big party and lost a lot of money.
Right. We're just dating but poorer now. And if we ever want to break up, it's immensely more difficult.
Right.
We did it!
Yeah! No, but it's just like this funny thing, like this mad, like you kind of think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're a kid and you think about like losing your virginity and you really think like once you're like no longer a virgin, you're going to just be this like radically different person. And it's like you're just
it's like
the
everything
same.
in life. You assume something's going to change something and then you're still who you are and, living your life for the most part. I mean, generally, unless something really bad happens, that seems to be the case. But I mean, I still think I'm still very excited about it. I don't think the spark hasn't cooled off. I mean, I know we're on our 3rd week of marriage, so naturally the spark begins to die at this point. But I still feel like the spark's pretty clear.
That's what they always say. They're like, oh,
let's
the
get
sex
that
is
3rd
good.
week.
The sex is good now, but wait till you get to 3.5 weeks of marriage. Woo!
Maybe we should discuss our marriage the way people discuss their infants. Like, how you guys have been together? Oh, we've been married for 23 months. Yeah, 23 months we've been married.
We should. You're right. We should take our relationship to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like every month. Can you check our relationship for lead?
Yeah.
Or
we have we're assuming something's wrong. So it's either lead or, asbestos. Something's wrong. We argue all the time. So it must be lead or asbestos.
Right.
And he's like, I think you guys just hate each other. Actually, we don't argue except for when we do this podcast sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Not even when we do it, when we like plan it or like someone forgets to charge the camera or just like little annoying things like that.
Yeah. Whatever. Sometimes we're stressed out about things and then the podcast is one more thing to do. And so we get stressed.
I realized that the way we have to kind of like make sure we charge the batteries, that's like having to feed your kids and stuff. Like this podcast, like us raising this podcast and with all these wonderful listeners, this is like us practicing to raise our child.
So what you're saying
or
is
children.
Once we have a child, like we'll feed them once a week and sometimes for not 6 months.
Yeah.
And then
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. Yeah. And we'll lose,
and we'll
lose
still
subscribers and we'll lose listeners because we'll stop feeding them. Yes.
It'll be like too stressful to feed them more than once a week. So
yeah, fuck those kids. Hey, before we dive into questions, and we got some questions. We've got some questions to answer. I want to give a shout out to some of our listeners around the world.
Oh, I was looking at our command center map.
Yeah, here's
here.
our command center. First up, big up to Russia. That's something you don't hear a lot in America these days, but big up to Russia.
But we're not like Russian, like not on behalf of the Russian government. Just
of the Russian people
who listen to our podcast.
The 11 Russian people that listen to our podcast. And not enough is said about that side of Russia. We hear a lot about Trump and Putin, but we don't hear about the great full release fans, all 11 of them in Russia.
In fact, we would love to hear from you guys. So please say hi and tell us where in Russia you are maybe and tell us something about the way you people in Russia are getting down, Are
you allowed to say you people in regard to Russia? Is that racist?
What are you supposed to say?
I don't know. I just feel like you people is a very...
All right. Our wonderful listeners in Russia, tell us how
our comrades in Russia.
No, oh my God. Dude, they're not like doing communism.
I know,
anymore.
but it's fun. It's fun. It's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
All right.
Okay, so big up to those 11 people in Russia. Horosho. Actually, I think that's how you say hello in Ukrainian, actually. Never mind.
No, it's Russian.
Is that Russian?
Yes.
Okay, I had a Ukrainian roommate in college. You say Horosho. I wasn't sure.
I know this because I have a lot of patients who speak Russian, and so I have to have the interpreter because I cannot speak Russian, but I do know that is one of the things that they say.
All right.
Frequently.
So Horosho, comrades.
Oh, I don't know actually what it means.
No, it means hello. I think it means hello.
Yeah.
Anyway, I moved on from Russia. I'm really focused on...
I think it means like okay.
Okay, well, okay, comrades. I'm okay with that.
All right.
We should learn how to
Anyway.
say 11 in Russian. Remember when we were in Japan, babe, and we were at that karaoke bar, and there was that girl next to us who was Ukrainian. She spoke Japanese and English. We were talking to her, and then I told her, she was like, we sang that Bon Jovi song because you're from Jersey, and then she's like, what should I sing? I was like, I don't know, sing a Russian song, and she got all pissed. She's like, I'm not from Russia. I'm from Ukraine. It's very different. And I was like, yeah.
Sore spot.
Yeah, I know it's different, but we're at a karaoke bar in Japan.
Well,
so.
the characteristic of Americans is that they're ignorant about other people. So,
Yeah, and I was ignorant.
You proved that. You were a good ambassador of our kind.
All right, we should get off this subject. I feel
let's
like we're
move on.
going to look tomorrow and they're going to be
Let's move on.
8 listeners in Russia.
There you go. Yeah.
No, I want to give a shout out to Botswana, one of my absolute favorite countries in southern Africa. Well, in particular, I like the one listener we have there. We have one listener in Botswana, so big up to them.
All right.
Horse show. I'm assuming that's also how you say hello in Botswanan. I performed in South Africa a few times, so I've been kind of close. Yeah, very close, actually, on the border, I think. So big up. Speaking of South Africa, 3 listeners in South Africa.
All
Horse
right.
show.
What's up? Babe, all right. All right, let's move on. Let's go on to the next thing.
I want to say hi to one more person.
You want to say hi to one more person?
One more person out there. Let's see who we got.
Wait, what was that little...
That's part of Russia. That little.
Oh.
What the fuck? One of our listeners is up on some teeny little island.
No, I think that's just the whole map of Russia. It's not like... What?
Maybe. Let's give a big shout out to Egypt. Horse Show Egypt. One listener. Horse Show Egypt. They just had a big discovery in Egypt today.
What?
They discovered 25, I believe, new sarcophagus. What are those? The
sarcophagi?
Sarcophagi. Yeah, they just discovered
Sarcophaguses?
25 more of them.
So like King Tut's?
They're not all King Tuts. That's racist. They
No,
are
but I mean
mummies.
King Tut,
Not all
like-
mummies are the same, babe. It's racist. Yeah, like they're 1,200 years old.
Wow, that's incredible.
Perfectly sealed.
But it's kind of like why they shouldn't open those, right? I mean, that's like somebody's like
it's
wish.
1,200 years. Let's be honest.
I see that I don't know how into that I am. Like
Really?
because if you were gonna dig up somebody who was like somebody's grandfather, you'd be like, oh, that's an abomination. But
That's
you
a good
dig up
point.
somebody's like great grandfather, and like that's okay.
It's also true because like they'll justify like, well, we got to learn something. It's like, really? Are we still learning about the Egyptians with another mummy? Like,
No,
haven't
it's
we
like they
gleaned
wanna-
the information there?
No, they just like want. They're like, ooh, treasures and like
Yeah.
stuff. I want to see it.
Whoa,
Oh my
Ashley's
gosh.
got a phone call.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna look at.
What's you got to check? All right, you're
No,
gonna
I'm
check.
just gonna see who it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to introduce our first question while Ashley takes this phone call. You don't have to take it? Oh, she doesn't have to take it? What? Don't take it, babe. We're in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, hang up on them. It's probably your mom asking for advice about her knee.
Babe.
Diane, if you're listening, I love you. I love you, and I love your knee, and I love both your knees, if I'm being
All right,
honest.
don't get a little too comfortable with my mom. That's enough.
With your mom's knees?
I don't know.
You're not comfortable with that?
It's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want me to edit it out?
No,
Okay.
let's just move on.
Okay. So we're moving on from your mom's knees,
Yeah.
and we're moving on from the countries.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing to your mom's knees?
Yeah.
Horror show.
Okay.
Horror show, your mom's knees.
Okay.
Let's see if this marriage makes it to 23 months. I'm hoping. One more thing before we jump into the email. The emails. We got 2 emails from audience. Oh, before we jump in, you want to tell people how they can ask us questions?
Oh yes. Please call in. Give us your questions about sex, love, dating, genitals, how to pronounce things in
Russian words.
Yeah, just call. We'd love to hear from you. Our podcast thrives on your input. So
Yeah, if anyone has like how to say penis or vagina in Russian, because there's no other way we can find that out.
there's no way it's not
Yeah,
on the
I'm
internet.
assuming it's horse
There's
show. But if it's not, let us know what it is.
You're just like pretending that Russia's like
Horse
this
show.
like Smurf, like
I
when
don't think
every
Russia's a Smurf
word
at all.
is just Smurf.
Russia's intimidating as hell. It's not at all like Smurf.
Okay, so anyway, to get in contact with us, you can call us at 213-631-3460. That's 213-631-3460. Leave us a voicemail. And you can also email us at thefullreleasepod@gmail.com.
That's right. And if you want to find our YouTube channel, you can search, of course, The Full Release Podcast, or there's links for it up on thefullreleasepod.com. Okay, babe,
Yes.
before we dive into our first question, I
Woohoo.
wanted to give you a little update. I know one of your favorite people, certainly one of your favorite Americans, is Jeffrey Epstein.
He certainly is not.
Well, I don't know. Okay, I guess I just really don't know you
Please
as well as I
do not come away from this episode
Okay.
thinking that in
All I'm
any
trying
way.
to say is you have told me in the past you want to name our children each Jeffrey Epstein. And you want that to be their first and last name.
Like how there was like George Foreman
Yeah. What?
with like how he named all his kids George.
Yeah.
But like it would just be as if we all named all of our kids Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, so you want to I want to clarify what you said before. You want even our daughters to be named Jeffrey Epstein?
No, I don't want any of this.
Oh, so
This
none
is-
of them.
This is a terrible
So you've done a
idea.
full 180 on this decision of yours that you
I
came up with.
never made this decision ever.
Wow.
Let's just don't. Okay. Anyway,
That seems a little
give us the
wild.
updates.
Okay, anyway, so they've announced that they're probably going to release all of the names of people who have been on Jeffrey Epstein's boat, plane that went to the Virgin Island, fucking debaucherous island of fucking sin and crime and horror that he had. Anyway, they have 20 years worth of flight logs, and so they're gonna release the names. That's fucking wild.
Who has that information?
Assuming the pilots, I guess. That's gonna really rock some shit. Because names already back in 2009, when they provided some names are Prince Andrew, who's obviously
Oh right. I mean that led
essentially
to
convicted in
some.
the court of public opinion for being a total
Yeah.
piece
Well,
of
I mean,
shit.
his just like answered all the questions about it. It was just total
yeah
garbage, right? I mean, he basically just said, I don't know anything. Like I can't remember anything or something. It was like,
Yeah.
it's like I just had the convenient dissociative fugue.
Right.
Like I just didn't exist at the dates you mentioned. Like, I mean, it's just
that's okay. I'm going to name you the 4 names that they have already released in
Okay.
2009. This is old news, I know, but which one of these names doesn't belong on the list, but is really there?
Okay.
Prince Andrew,
Okay.
Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, and Naomi Campbell.
I'm gonna say Kevin Spacey.
Oh, you don't think he exists? I think he was flying the fucking plane.
Oh, he was okay.
No, but I mean, obviously.
I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like a trick question.
No,
So
those
Naomi
are all
Campbell.
real.
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, she's not supposed to be a very nice person, but
She seems like. I don't know.
she like hit her assistant with like a bottle or a phone.
No,
or something.
I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
allegedly,
whatever.
or I'm making
I
it
don't
up.
know.
Horror show.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, best of luck to Jeffrey Epstein, babe. I know you're rooting for him, and
I was not.
again, I hope you get through this difficult time, babe.
Okay.
Because I know you love him.
Sure.
Should we take an email?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want to hear? You want to hear about a male question or a female question?
Ladies.
Ladies.
Let's do the ladies.
All right. Here's a email we got. Hello, longtime listener. Feel like a cheesehead for saying that, but I am. Thank you. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel like I am going bald down there, and by there, I mean my vag. That's her word. I wouldn't use that word. Makes me uncomfortable,
Okay.
but that's what she said.
I mean, I don't know. When you were in the shower this morning, I just kept heard you saying vag.
That's not true.
Vag.
What do you-
vag.
Yeah, like you could have heard
Vag.
anything
Like you
over
were
the
doing-
Jeffrey Epstein documentary you had channeled into your Bluetooth headphones that you were doing push-ups to while listening to it. Again.
Like you sounded like a 21 gun salute of vag.
Really? So can you give me an impression of what I sounded like? So here I am in the shower. Shh.
Vag. Vag. Vag.
And so I'm just chanting veg.
Yeah, because you feel so comfortable.
Saying the word. Interesting. That's a word. So I didn't know I was so into veg. Can you give me one more impression of me? Like midway through the shower?
Well, no, then in the middle of the night, you were actually having like these beautiful dreams, I can tell.
Yeah.
And you were singing it softly.
I was singing veg. No, let's hear it. Make it a little louder for the listeners. We can turn up your mic here. Let's really hear it. Give it to them.
Veg.
Veg.
Yeah, and you were just kind of cradling your body and rocking back and forth. And then intermittently sucking your thumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so this person said, my vag is basically saying is losing hair. I've been stressed out, but I'm only 40, vag. And is this supposed to happen, vag?
You can definitely lose your hair down there, right? So, there are autoimmune ways that people lose hair. And you can certainly lose it through that.
Specifically on your cooch bone? Like a spoochly in the vag?
You can lose hair in your pubic hair region. Yeah, for sure.
So your hair is staying the same in your head, but when you get down to your vag, the hair starts coming out.
You could definitely have some hair loss. Although I would say that if you were having an autoimmune loss of hair, you probably would have hair loss elsewhere, most likely. But then also with aging, you can have change in the texture and the fullness and the quantity of your hair. Yeah.
Interesting.
In fact, that was one of those things I remember in fellowship. We had a very systematic way of recording all the physical exam findings, right? Like, so the clitoris is this size, the labia is this size, the opening of the introitus looks like this, the urethra looks like this. And there was a very, kind of like step-by-step approach. Like you talk about checklist with airplanes, right? And one of the things was kind of the hair pattern. And if you look at, enough vages, if you will, over time, there definitely is a specific kind of change and thinning out and, kind of more soft, less full way to the hair. And that also happens with men.
Eventually I'm gonna lose this robust bush.
I know, babe. I know that you wanted to be like the
Lose
Rapunzel.
this giant Sasquatch bush.
I know this your
around my crotch.
survivalist plan is to grow a rope of pubic hair.
You say Rapunzel?
Yeah.
So who in this story is going to climb? Are you going to climb up?
I'm going to climb up your pubic hair.
And who has me trapped in this castle from my pubic hair that I have to escape from? Who has me trapped in that castle?
That's a great question. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Wow.
Jeffrey Epstein?
Probably.
Oh God, we should make jokes
It
about
was
this.
certainly going to be Jeffrey Epstein.
Naomi Campbell, because you said she's mean.
Well, I mean, Naomi, if you're listening, by the way,
we're sorry. We don't
are
mean it. We don't know you.
We don't know you.
I've watched TV shows with you. You seem pretty cool.
You don't.
And you're very good looking.
You're beautiful. You're attractive.
Yeah.
If you want to have a threesome, we're down.
We're not.
We're down to have a threesome
No,
on
we're
Jeffrey Epstein's Island, where you
No,
apparently
we're
travel
not.
to.
Not going there.
We're down for that.
Anyway.
Okay, so that pretty much answers that. So what is it called? What is the condition called when you lose your hair like that? Is it a diagnosis or just like cooch hair loss?
I would have to get back to you on the specific disorders that could lead to loss of pubic hair. Yeah.
What do you think is the ideal shape of my pubic hair? Do you like when I'm trimmed down a little bit? 'Cause I've been thinking about trimming.
I like it when it's shaped like afternoon spray.
Oh God. Ashley, did you just make an inside joke that
sorry.
virtually no one will understand?
I know, it's just what came
By the
into
way,
my
hold
head.
on, I want to make a joke. If anyone knows what she means by afternoon spray, I will Venmo you $50.
No way.
I will. But
10.
50. But you cannot Google
Only
it.
one. Only the first person.
First person. Only the first person. I will Venmo. We will Venmo $50 from our marital bank account, which we don't have yet.
Yeah.
But if you know what she means by afternoon spray, but you can't Google it, okay?
You can't.
$50.
And it has to be the right afternoon spray.
Yeah, it has to be
It can't be something that you made up.
It comes from a TV show.
Yeah, that's all we're saying.
That's all we are saying.
All we're saying.
We're not saying more.
So anyway, in terms of the ideal shape of your hair, I don't know. I think like an inverted U would be a nice shape. What about you? What do you think my ideal pubic hair?
I don't know. I always close my
shape?
eyes when I get near it. Babe, do you have to poop?
No.
Oh, you don't? Interesting. Because
I love it. I love it when Mo kind of curates the content of the episode because this is the
kind of dumb shit
transitions we make. Yeah.
Well,
we're gonna be a lot more content based next episode, but
are we?
I think we will.
Okay, I have a feeling we won't.
I mean, this is fun. This is fun. This is a fluffer.
It's not a fluffer. We got another important email coming up.
Okay.
But I would like to get
whatever.
more questions, guys. It would be nice to get some more questions.
It's been a heavy week. We won't dive into that, but in the greater world, it's been a heavy week. And so, we're...
Oh my God, we were supposed to start with that, huh? Well, we'll get into it in a bit.
I don't know. I mean, I think we all kind of have in mind the gravitas of some of the things that are happening in the world right now. And
Yeah, that's true.
sometimes we're just here to be a
That's
momentary
true.
distraction from it.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you need to poop or not? I didn't get an answer on that.
Yeah. Actually, I may or may not be having a bowel movement
Right now?
Right now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I asked that because apparently this was going around the TMZ news. A woman got
TMZ.
pulled over in Oklahoma and really had to go number 2 when the cop pulls her over. You got to see the video; it's amazing. And he pulls her over, and she says, like, she's crying, she's trying to get out of the ticket. She really has to go poop.
This woman's crying in every picture
Yeah,
of
there's
her.
like 5 pictures of
this
her crying, and you got to watch the video. She's like obviously fake crying and probably fake having to poop, but she just keeps saying, "I really have to poop. Can you let me home and poop?" And then the
Don't they know that like this is the way you get out of things with the cops is not by shouting that you have to poop?
well, I
Like,
mean,
I've
we
never
all know
heard of
that now. Have you ever tried to get out of a speeding ticket with a cop?
Yeah.
What is your move? Is it not pooping?
It was farting.
You just farted a lot.
Like the entire time I made a very serious face and I looked at the officer. I'm like, yes, officer. Because it's like, and then because it's like you're looking at them seriously
Yeah.
and you're listening and you're nodding. So
And
you're
it's not illegal to
respectful.
fart in front of a police officer, I don't think, is it?
I don't know. Maybe there's a rule on it, like amount.
It's like, man, when you roll in your window, you're like, yes, please. I am blasting this car. No, seriously, what have you ever done to get out of a ticket? I mean,
I don't think I've like done anything. Like, one time I rolled through a stop sign and I was wearing my scrubs and they were like, what? Are you a nurse or something? You work at the hospital? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, because
you
what?
didn't
I
tell
could
him
have
you're
been
a doctor?
right. No, because it wasn't the time to start correcting the guy. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, yes. And then like, it would, I mean, whatever. I did work at the hospital. I was wearing scrubs because I work in healthcare.
But I would
and it
think
was
you
just
could
kind of
have
like,
said, no, I'm a doctor and been offended. And then he would have been scared that he was going to get accused of some sexual,
no, that's just not no.
Okay.
But anyway, so he was like, all right, get going or whatever, because it was like I was on my way to work and like that's why I was up early. And
cops and nurses have a
like,
bond, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's something like, it's yeah, I mean, it's yeah, they're a bond. I don't know. I don't know. Have anything else.
It's like when a rodeo clown runs into me, a comedian, we have like a natural bond.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
you're like, oh, you have a
You guys like.
You have a shitty career, then there's a lot of traveling and giant bulls trying to spear you. I'm like, yes, essentially, based on the late night crowds I perform for.
And then what else have I done?
And it worked though. You got out of it. I've
I
never
did,
gotten out of a ticket
and then once I was in the car with my friend and she was speeding, I got pulled over and she started crying and got out of it.
Dude, well, chicks get out, or women, I guess you guys like to be known now.
Yeah, and probably white women. I mean, this is like a white privilege thing for sure.
I was with a girl one time. Although here's an interesting thing with white privilege, though. I was pulled over one time with a girlfriend who had been drinking a few glasses of wine. She was driving poorly. She was a bad driver in general. Apparently, it's my type.
All right. I'm not a bad driver. I'm an aggressive driver.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, this cop pulled her over, and he was Mexican. And he asked her if she'd been drinking. She said, yeah. And he let her go. So white privilege for sure. But, the guy wasn't white, but he still honored the white privilege card.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That was one of two times I saw her get pulled over for drinking while we were driving. And neither time did she get a ticket.
You were dating this woman?
Yeah.
And you kept dating her?
Yeah.
After she like had multiple.
Well, I was a drinker at the time, so it was better than
you
me.
were always
hammered.
Oh wow! So better than you. So you were
certainly
willing
better than me,
to like.
Oh yeah, I don't recommend that.
Wow, you're like take the hit, baby.
Drive baby.
Drive me home. You were like
because women can get out of speeding tickets and tickets a lot easier than men can. That's
wow.
the truth. Talk about privilege.
You've revealed your true cards here.
Have I?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd revealed those cards.
Yeah. So what am I going to be up next for taking the heat for shit? What am I?
I don't know if I end up killing somebody. I might ask you to use your surgery skills to if I end up murdering someone, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to smuggle them in the hospital and have you, when you're doing surgery, cut open somebody like a cadaver and shove the body that I killed into another body.
Oh God, like a turducken of humans.
Yeah, a turducken of humans.
I don't. No. There's no way to do that. I mean, it's like,
Well, let's hope we don't ever have to
unless
cross
there's a
that bridge.
huge person inside of a little
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
person.
saying. I mean, I'm going to purposely murder
So
someone
you're
small.
going to kill...
Yeah.
This is like the worst. We sound like the worst.
I'm
like,
okay with
I
it.
don't...
I think it's fun.
Okay.
Anyway, so this woman who really had to poop, she had some balls on her. She basically told the
she
cop.
does look like she's straining there. I mean, she does.
I know.
But it doesn't look like she's straining to keep it in. It looks like she's
Yeah,
straining.
it looks like no, to me that picture looks like she shit herself and she's in abject shame about it. Like there's this shit all over her legs, but there's not.
And she's allergic to her own poop. Like her face is red. Like
No, but you got to see it though, because she says she basically then starts as he goes to check her priors, what she had. She starts the truck and zooms off, and then he pulls her over again in a restaurant. As he's getting her in the car, he's like, I really have to poop. He's like, you got to go to the station. She's like, can I poop there? And she gets in the car. I mean, it's unbelievable.
why did she just while he was running her car? Why didn't she just get out of the car and poop on the side of the road?
No, but apparently she got to the station, and then they asked her if she had to poop, and she said the feeling passed. You got to see it though. He's like pushing in the car. She's like, "Can I poop there?"
Do you think like that poop, if she had poop, that poop would have been used as evidence, like
Probably.
like in her defense?
I don't know if that gets
Like
you
they
out
would
of
have taken the stool sample and submitted it to like.
Well, I don't know if does that get you out of speeding and crimes? You're like, I had to poop. They're like, let her go.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if you're doing erratic driving and you're like,
Yeah.
and you're like having like a seizure or something, like you can't. It's obviously not your fault. So maybe she was.
And
Just,
the cop pulls you over because you have to poop, and it's like when they deliver your baby in the car. It's like, here we go. I'll help you poop.
her boyfriend's like, get the wipes.
We had our bags packed. We were ready to go.
This is all time.
It came early.
This is our dumbest. This
Yeah,
is
this is
the
our dumbest
episode we've
I like
ever
when
had.
it's dumb, honestly. I think it's fun when it's dumb.
So dumb.
All right, let's get serious. Another email. thefullreleasepod@gmail.com. Ask your emails. My cousin only has one testicle. We joke and call him a nut cyclops. But he still can get hard. He can still get hard with one nut, which makes you wonder, why do I have two nuts? See, these are the kind of questions we actually get from our listeners. So when you say we're being too goofy and dumb, I don't know if that's true based on who actually writes this question.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
Maybe we're not dumb enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, nut cyclops. I like it.
So first question, have you ever seen a real human cyclops?
No, although I do think you told me recently that it exists.
I think we may have even talked about it on this podcast. But if
Probably.
we did, it was
We've
quite a
done
long time ago.
950 episodes.
Right.
Feels like.
101.
Right.
But yeah, but I'll say it again since I said it quite a while ago. Yeah.
For show.
So Cyclops is a medical condition. I mean, it's not compatible with life.
I thought it was a Greek mythological condition that people are born with.
Right. Well, the medical condition is called holoprosencephaly, which is basically where you have, instead of two lobes of your brain and two eyes, you have one lobe of your brain and one eye that's in the middle of your forehead.
Right.
And that is, you can be born that way. You will not live. Okay. It's not compatible with life, but it's probably something that, happened way back when, dating back to like Greek times. And that had, I mean, I imagine that played a role in those, kind of mythical creatures.
Is it in the center of the person's head though?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I would think that's a very good guess.
Sorry. So anyway, and I think I also mentioned this before. Sorry for kicking that thing.
It's okay.
In the anatomy lab that I did, that we dissected our cadavers in med school, they had various fetuses with like terminal conditions in formaldehyde in like jars, which is also kind of getting back to that whole
that's
kind of
questionable at best.
Yeah, I mean you get back to the whole thing with the sarcophagus that they found in Egypt. Like, had
the fetuses signed a form? Like, is it like had they assigned it to be done?
No, I mean, I guess their parents. I don't even know. I don't even know like how long ago they collected these fetuses, or if they were collected like in the 1800s or something, and there was no like consent for that. But anyway, there was one that was a cyclops, and it was literally like a human fetus, and it had a head, and it had an eyeball in the middle of the forehead.
So why can't somebody survive with that? That seems like a survivable condition.
it's not because it's not that you just have one eye. It's like the whole brain is just like developmentally massively, just like massively not connected the way it needs to be connected to do the things it needs to do. I mean, it's just so like the brain is just so not compatible with the things you need it to do.
Have you ever seen the show Futurama?
I have.
You know Futurama, like
there's the very attractive looking woman who's a Cyclops.
Right. And she's an alien, right?
Yes.
But she's not. That's what's weird. You think she's an alien for most of the show, and then it turns out one
I didn't know
episode.
that.
Yes, it's true. She goes down into the sewer system, and her parents were like mutants from the sewer, and she's actually just like a child of mutants.
So there were no like race of
Cyclops,
aliens.
No.
Wow.
So that's a little medical fact.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
She also must not have had good depth perception. Was that like a running joke on the show?
I feel like they did like 9,000 episodes, so probably they made a few jokes about it.
I mean,
It
they
wasn't a big
must
one.
have,
She was
but
hot though. She was definitely like
very
a
good looking.
sexy Cyclops. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Just wanna throw that out there.
But she probably had two lobes of her brain. I don't
Seemed
know.
like it.
Like
yeah.
because otherwise she wouldn't have been alive.
She
so.
was a high-ranking officer. I think.
Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is the little aside about
That is
Cyclops.
the Cyclops.
Yes.
Let me kiss your arm.
I know. You've been really eyeing my arm there.
Nice
I feel like
arm
you're
meat
gonna
right
like.
now. Nice arm meat. So if you're on YouTube, you can watch me kiss Ashley's arm.
Oh.
That's just another reason to sign up for our YouTube.
Should they watch me?
No,
your
that's
arm?
no.
Yeah.
That's for our
yeah.
Patreon. No. Oh God, we hit our background. Okay, get back to nuts.
All
Or
right.
one
So
nut.
anyway, so you have two testicles. The body makes a lot of things in twos because it's a good to have backup plan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Kidneys, you got two.
Arms.
Arms, you got two. Legs, you got two. Eyeballs, you got two. So yeah. So it's and many times if you only have one of an organ, the other one will compensate. Okay, like for example, many people are not like many, but a decent number of people are born with only one kidney, for example, or there are people who donate one of their kidneys, right? And when
Show offs. Right? I've had enough.
yeah.
You're not better than me just because think you
Does
just
that really-
give someone a kidney.
Does that really hit you hard?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I just don't like
you
people
just
give
feel
away their
inadequate
kidneys. Yeah,
because-
it's like you're not better than me just because you want to help people with kidney stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Go on.
I never knew you felt that way.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so the remaining kidney will get bigger and, what we call like compensatory hypertrophy. So it'll get bigger and do more than it would have done if the other one was there. Okay.
Is it
So-
sort of like when someone loses their sight, like their hearing gets better or something like that?
In a way.
Okay.
So with your testicles, if you lose one of your testicles, most of the time, if your other testicle is healthy and the signaling between your brain and your testicles is healthy, right? And the hormones that your brain needs to produce to tell your testicles to make sperm and testosterone, if all of that communication is going on, then usually you will have one testicle and your testosterone level and your fertility and everything will be normal. So
this guy, quote unquote, nut Cyclops, and that's his friend or cousin's term. He can still get someone pregnant, and same amount of semen will come out and all that.
well, the ejaculate, right? Most of the ejaculate volume has nothing to do with your testicles, right? We've talked about that. So it comes from like your seminal vesicles,
Prostate.
your prostate. Oh,
Yes.
good. Yeah, good
Learn
job.
things. I'm a learner.
Right? So like you could have no testicles and you could ejaculate and, whatever. Or you could have a vasectomy, right?
Yeah.
Where your balls are not connected to your ejaculate anymore. And you could have an ejaculate. Oh, yeah. So that was the question about the ejaculate. And then what was your other one? Oh, his sperm function. Yeah. I mean, he could have a normal sperm production. I don't know this guy, but, usually that's the case. Yeah. And in terms of him being able to get an erection, I mean, if he has a normal testosterone level, then whether or not you have one or two balls or no balls, doesn't have anything to do with it, right? Like if you had
So
no
weird.
balls, but you were on testosterone replacement therapy, then you could get hard, right? So
Right.
so
With
that
no balls?
As long as somebody was giving you testosterone,
Right.
you could get hard with no balls.
And now, do you think he needs to poop? What do you
You
think?
have a
his
hard-headed
pee-
question. Why didn't you become a journalist? I mean,
Literally like that,
did you
so
think about that? Was that like something you thought about for a while?
What? Whether or not this guy's to
Being a
poop?
journalist?
I did write a journal in high school, actually. Not a journal. I mean, I'm sorry.
You wrote a journal?
No, I didn't write a journal. I was a high school
Wow.
journalist. I had a column called not the full release. It was called it's called Fending Off the Locust. Fending Off the Locust. My journal. Yeah.
What was your favorite entry?
I don't know. I don't even really remember. It was pretty good. I won an award, regional level.
Wow. Tell us more about your high school awards.
Can we just talk about how at our wedding, your parents and sister both talked about your high school GPA in their speeches?
Oh, yeah. Did we not talk about that last episode?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh, yeah. They both, my
It was
parents talked
adorable.
about my high school GPA, and I feel like they talked about my SAT score and my college scholarship.
Yeah.
And then they talked about like that I was in the honor society in medical
You're
school.
like, Ashley did a
and-
tremendous book report on Moby Dick in 9th grade that the teacher said was
I know,
in
I
red
know.
marker, very well written.
I know. So it is amazing because it's like oftentimes at weddings, it's like somebody will just come out and be like, Mo, you don't deserve her. Or
Right.
something. Like,
But your parents put
Just
a
like,
number on
here's-
how much I
here's
don't
just-
deserve you. Yeah.
here's her qualifications. Feel bad.
I know. And
No,
actually,
no.
while that was happening, my friend Damien was like, she's way smarter than Mo. Like,
No, he
really well. He
didn't.
did
No,
at
he
the table. He
didn't.
did. Yeah. Fucking dick.
That's pretty funny.
All right. Well, I only have one other thing that I wanted to get into, but
Yeah.
wasn't there something you want to teach us about your journal or something?
No, I mean, I was mentioning it that I, was looking at
the thing about
journal.
Israel.
Oh, well, yeah,
that was
that's
interesting.
Yeah. Well, that was an aside. Yeah. So
But
I
let's
was
talk
looking.
about Israel because it's Rosh Hashanah weekend.
Oh,
or week.
yeah. So I was looking at the journal Sexual Medicine, and they had a series of articles about how COVID has affected, sex and sexual medicine practices in various different countries throughout the world. And the first one I just opened up to was Israel. And, if you hearken back to like March or April, the New York City Department of Health or the New York State, put forward these COVID-19 guidelines for sex, right?
Yeah,
And
we talked about in our episode,
Yeah.
coronavirus facts and fiction, I believe.
Ooh, that was a good one.
You can find them
Classic.
all on iTunes and now YouTube. Continue.
And so what was I saying?
You were saying New York released.
Oh, yeah. So and they were considered really innovative recommendations, right? And one of them was the safest sex you can have is with yourself, right?
Right.
Meaning like if you don't cohabitate with somebody already, then try utilizing masturbation to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Yeah,
right?
try to beat that out.
Right. So this article was just saying that the government in Israel put forward similar guidelines and also, made a formal recommendation from the, government to encourage people to masturbate. And it was just an interesting thing because, Orthodox Jewish communities do play a strong role in the government in that country. And, men are not supposed to masturbate in that worldview.
Is it
or
considered
whatever. So
is it considered a sin?
I don't know, to be honest, but I just thought that was interesting because in the U.S. we don't have any kind of. Well, I that's not true.
Sure,
I mean,
there's plenty of
religion plays
religions
such
that
a
don't want
huge
you
role
to-
in the government here
Yeah.
that like we don't.
Well, so
Whatever.
now,
So anyway, so I just thought that was interesting.
did something happen? Did they react to it?
I didn't see anything about that, but
Okay.
maybe we should follow that up for our listeners next
Can
week.
you imagine how difficult it is to grow up in a household where you're taught not to masturbate?
Well, I mean, here's
I don't
the-
even know. That's almost like child abuse.
Well, I mean, the difficulty also is that you will have, like, if you don't masturbate for long enough, you'll just have a nocturnal emission. So, like, your body.
Right. Isn't your mom just like, fuck? I mean, I'm cleaning the sheets constantly. Maybe I just tell him to jerk off so I don't have to do
And let me
this?
say, like, there's a lot of variability. And I'm sure this is just specific communities because I feel like I have known, varying levels of Jewish people, and we're both Jewish. And
we're masturbation Jews, though. We're Jewish, but we're masturbation Jews.
No, but yeah, and I know, and I've known Jews that are very religious, and I don't remember them ever talking about like not masturbating.
Because everyone in
I don't want to pretend that I have expertise in this beyond my lane. But that was what was specifically mentioned in that article.
It's interesting because my whole neighborhood in LA, where I lived before the coronavirus, tons of Orthodox people, so I didn't realize none of them were jerking off.
Maybe they are. Maybe
actually, one of them I think jerked off in their car while following one of my neighbors' house. So that guy was definitely sinning on a few levels.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I didn't tell you that.
What?
Some dude was jerking off in his car in my neighborhood.
Like,
well, he was like following somebody while jerking off.
And like,
should we get him on the podcast?
It seems like he didn't do a good job of being like discreet about it.
No, he wasn't like your stalker. I mean, people actually saw him. You know?
All right.
Oh, big ups. Guess who's coming on the podcast this week?
Tell us.
Friend Josh Wolf.
Whoa.
Josh Wolf, hilarious comedian and very successful YouTube guy. He's got over 1 million subscribers, which is almost as much as we have.
The same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
And I know him from Chelsea lately and stand up. He's hilarious. He's going to be joining us on next week's episode. So if anyone out there is a fan of Josh Wolf and you've got questions for him, you can email us at thefullreleasepod@gmail.com or you can call us at
213-631-3460.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty interesting. Anything else you want to teach us, Doctor?
There was just another study I was looking at where they were looking at the effect of shift work, like working at night, on erectile function. And, basically, the body produces the highest levels of testosterone during a phase of sleep called REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. And that's typically when you're dreaming. It's also typically when you get erections. So it's, and men and women get erections during REM sleep. Okay. So like, the clitoris engorges. Yeah. So all our nice little nubbins get some exercise during REM sleep. And
this is an honest question. Is there any study on if nocturnal emissions happen more during REM?
I'm sure they do, but I don't know. I should know the answer to that. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Anyway, so basically their thought was, do men who have some altered work hours have a higher rate of erectile dysfunction? Just because we know the link to, a good night's rest is associated with, basically better, hormonal production. And so basically what they did find was that if you slept during the day, as your main hours of sleeping, not like taking naps, or if you had something called shift work associated sleep disorder, which meant that you worked, odd hours and you had bad sleep, that those people did have higher rates of erectile dysfunction when controlling for other things. Okay. So if you worked like odd hours, let's say you work from, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., but you're still mostly sleeping during the night and you get a good night's rest, then those people didn't have higher rates of erectile dysfunction. But if you typically were working like, between midnight to 8 a.m. and you were sleeping during the day, or you were having bad sleep, then those people had higher rates.
Man, I feel bad. I knew this guy in high school whose dad was a grocery store stalker. Like, not a stalker. He
was stalking people.
He was stalking like cereal boxes.
Wow, that's really cohesive.
He would actually so he had to work at night. And I remember one time. Was he from Russia? Yes, he was from Russia. Most of the people I've grown up in my stories are from Russia. All of them are one of the 11 listeners of ours in Russia. Yes. Horror show, guys. Anyway, one time we found him asleep on the toilet the next morning, smoking a cigarette. He had just got home from work and was taking a shit and fell asleep with a cigarette in his mouth. So,
wow. So you think he had really good erections?
Yeah, I think he was rock hard.
Like, that was what you thought about when you...
Yeah, I was like, man, I bet that dude was
I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Like, I just don't know if...
It says, okay, here, a wet dream occurs when you have a sexually arousing dream during sleep and your body releases semen through ejaculation. During the REM phase of sleep, it's natural for guys to experience an erection. If you happen to have an arousing dream during this period of sleep, you will sometimes ejaculate. Okay, so it is REM sleep.
But this is an important distinction, right? So you will have an erection during REM sleep, even if you're not having a arousing dream.
Right.
So like your body can just get an erection. Just in fact, most nights you probably get I think it's actually like most nights you get several erections during REM sleep, and the vast majority of the time that's not associated with sexual thoughts. And the other way to think about it also is like, infants and stuff will get like erections.
Well, who knows what they're thinking about, little filthy bastards. But so that's the thing. You guys, if you ever have an erectile dysfunction with a girl, just say, look, come back when I'm asleep. Because
no, that's
I'm going to get quite a few bars. So come back while I'm sleeping.
That's not good advice.
Okay.
No.
So are you done with that? Or
yeah, I think I'm done with that.
All right. So the last thing I have for us on my little syllabus here
was your game.
No, we can play the game later. But one thing I thought, one thing I've always thought was one of the more fun parts of the podcast is when we used to encourage listeners to send in fake questions. And we would give them real answers to fake questions. Yeah. So this is real answers to fake questions submitted by our listeners at thefullreleasepod@gmail.com. Why don't you give them the phone number one more time, little Noochki? Okay,
213-631-3460.
Okay. Say it one more time.
213-631-3460.
Thank you. And also, guys, please keep getting us good ratings on iTunes and good reviews. We're almost at 100. We're almost at 200 ratings.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost 1 million.
It's almost 1 million. So I think we have 190 ratings right now, and I think we're at like a 4.7 or 4.8 stars.
Yeah.
So keep giving us 5 stars. Let's get it up there. Come on. And remember, if anyone can remember the, what did we say?
Afternoon spray.
$50.
But we'll give
One
you
person
$50.
gets $50.
One person.
Okay, so here's a question we got. Someone wanted to play along, so they sent us a fake question, and we are going to give you a real answer to it. Hello, Mo and Winter, Dr. Mandel Ashley. I like that. I get bad hemorrhoids, and thinking they were suppositories, I accidentally shoved my girlfriend's pregnancy pill up my ass, and now I am pregnant. We've got very creative listeners. Very creative. How often do you see this happening, and what should I do?
Man, this is rampant. This is 80% of my clinical practice.
Is this 80% of your clinical practice now? Is this exact condition?
Yeah. No,
wow.
Let's see. So let's talk about this. One, there's no such thing as a pregnancy pill that you eat and put up your butt and it makes you pregnant. That's not a thing. Two, if you are, I don't know if
but how do you know that? Because do you know anyone who's ever put a pregnancy pill up their ass before?
There's no pill to make you pregnant.
But you don't know.
Pills to prevent you from becoming pregnant.
But you don't know. What I'm saying is you don't know. So look, it's like we can all guess. Well, now we're all just guessing.
Right. This is a factual podcast.
Should we ask a listener to try it out and tell us? Don't try it out and tell us. Don't try it out and tell us, guys. But if you actually slip and fall on one, no, but don't try it out, guys. But again, if you do slip and fall on one and it goes up there and you get pregnant, let us know.
There's no such thing as a pregnancy pill.
Okay, but it happened. So what do you think he should do now? Because he's pregnant, and it's like he's got a child in his anus now.
Well, then I guess he can't poop for 9 months. And
right.
He's got to.
You can't poop.
I guess that's the only answer here.
Right. So what would you recommend? No fiber? Lots of red meat?
Yeah, I guess that's how you do that. Yeah.
Lots of red meat. No
you
fiber.
Probably should actually get like a colostomy.
Or a cork.
No, because he's going to... See, there's the thing. Even if you eat... To be real about this, right?
Yeah. Please be real about this.
Even if you eat nothing, you have bacteria in your intestinal tract, which produce like waste products, and you will make stool even if you eat nothing. Okay, this is a fact. So if you are going to prevent yourself from popping that baby out prematurely,
which you don't want to do, you want to give it the full term.
Probably need to urgently get a colostomy. So that you can poop out of the bag and not end up pooping out your child.
Well, I think that's good. That's really good facts, and thank you for sharing that. I think that's really good.
So I guess that is my sophisticated assessment of what happens if you are carrying a child in your anus after taking a pill that cannot get you pregnant.
Right. And again,
for many reasons, none of this can happen.
But let's be careful with where we're putting pills, guys. Again, let's really be careful about that. Let's think it through, and let's make sure, we're ingesting things the way they're meant to be ingested.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got, baby. I think we covered a lot of stuff today.
Right. Everybody's so much smarter.
Everyone's smarter now. So
I think that's it. Right?
Yeah.
Till next week.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? I'm getting some text here from my buddy Dave.
No, send us
text and stuff to me. So yeah, send us questions.
Yeah.
Subscribe
Give
to the
us
podcast.
your feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and if you want to give feedback, don't give it in the iTunes reviews. You can just email us that
Yeah,
feedback.
email us. Yeah.
Something you don't like.
Negative feedback.
Yeah, don't give it that. We don't need other people to
Keep
see that.
it between us.
You just email us. But
Yeah.
we do read all the emails and
We
stuff.
do.
And
All
so
right.
anyway, I don't know. Horror show, I guess?
Bye, guys.
Horror show.
Ashley and I would like to thank all of you for listening to our humble podcast. Please subscribe and give us a good rating. Tell all your friends. And don't forget, we are answering all your questions at 213-631-3460 or at thefullreleasepod@gmail.com. .com.